Hey, I'm DJ 𝗱𝗷𝘆 representing 𝗱𝗷𝘆. Normally you'd find me rocking parties around the world, flexing my skills on turntables and vinyl, but for the next 10 videos, I'm going to show you how to DJ creatively using only your smartphone and DJ Pro AI. I'll be starting at the very basics of DJing before sharing my personal techniques to build towards a final showcase performance that you can learn to. So if you're ready, let's get started. So for this first lesson, I'm going to show you around the DJ Pro AI interface. This default layout is called Classic Mode, which has two virtual decks, a cross fader to mix between them, and many other controls. To load a track to deck 1, let's tap on the flashing track load button to open the library browser. Now we're inside the featured library, which gives us access to thousands of tracks from different genres pre-installed in DJ Pro AI. We can also DJ using streaming services like Tidal or Beatport, or with music stored on your smartphone itself. And DJ Pro AI even lets you DJ with video and music stored on external drives or cloud services like iCloud and Dropbox. For now, I'm going to tap on the Tech House playlist and scroll through the tracks, which all show their artwork, title, artist name, length, tempo, and key. I'm going to select the track called I Love You to load it to deck 1. As the track plays, it's represented by the spinning record on the virtual deck and by the info above, including the time remaining, which we can tap on to switch to time elapsed. We can also tap on the key of the track and change it, but more on key shifting later. Underneath is a waveform which gives us a visual overview of the entire track, and this red playhead shows us the current position in the song. Okay, so now comes the fun part, because with DJ Pro AI we have complete control at our fingertips over how we play the music. For example, we can stop and release the track with our hand. We can fast forward, rewind, scratch, and even do spinbacks. Every time I touch the record, the waveform gives us a close-up view, which is useful to zone in on specific parts of a song. We can also tap or drag our finger anywhere on the waveform to jump through the track. Or alternatively, we can drag and release the needle on the virtual turntable. At the bottom corner we have a play button to start and stop the track, and we can even power down or power up the deck with this on-off control. If we press and hold the plus or minus pitch bend buttons, this will push or drag the track momentarily, which is useful for making minor tweaks when in the mix. But for a more fixed tempo change and to beat match different songs together, we would use the tempo slider. Currently it's in the default middle position or 0% pitch, so our track is playing at its original tempo of 125 BPM or beats per minute. But if we move the slider up, the tempo increases, and if we move it down, it decreases. You'll also hear that the pitch of the track is changing too, which isn't always something we want, because it can make vocals sound unnatural and instruments sound out of tune. To avoid this, we can tap on the key lock icon, and this will lock the track in its original key even if the tempo changes. And whenever we want to quickly reset the tempo change, we can simply double tap on the tempo slider. The sensitivity of the tempo slider can also be adjusted by tapping on the BPM, then on tempo, and then by selecting one of these 5 pitch ranges. Higher ranges allow us to mix songs together that have big tempo differences, such as going from hip hop to house, but the more sensitive the tempo slider is, the less accurate it will be. And when DJing, we usually want to avoid stretching songs too far, especially well-known music that people are used to hearing at normal speed. So for now, I'm going to choose 10%, which is the typical pitch range for regular mixing. And if you're already familiar with real DJ gear, it's a good idea to invert your pitch slider to match the industry standard. This means sliding up will now decrease the tempo and sliding down will increase it. These settings will also be applied to deck 2. Let's stop the deck here, drag the playhead to the start, and manually cue the first beat, known as the downbeat, perfectly in line with the playhead. Now by pressing set, this will assign a start cue point, which we can jump to anytime we press the jump cue button. This can really save us a lot of time when we want to restart the track whilst mixing. The start cue point is shown on both the vinyl and the waveform and is now saved for future use. We can, however, delete it by holding the set button until the marker disappears and then reassign it somewhere else. But as it's a useful tool, I'm going to keep it right here on the first downbeat. Let's do the same for deck 2, but first I'm going to tap on the menu button and then settings, and under general I'm going to turn play immediately off. So now anytime I load a track, it won't automatically start playing on the deck. Let's go back into our library browser, and this time I'm going to go into the Deep House playlist and load a track called Need to Know. As I cue the track, you'll notice that the first sound isn't a downbeat, which is often the case in music and something to be aware of. But as you can see, it's pretty easy to identify kick drums by the shape and red colour in the waveform. So let's apply a start cue point here. Okay, so we have 2 tracks cued and ready on our decks. See you in the next lesson.